Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and I'm super excited to show you guys how to make no-sew adorable table runners. There's lots of things that you can make it out of. You can make it out of painter's drop cloth, like this one. I'll show you this in just a second. You could make it out of canvas ticking fabric. And this is available in most fabric stores in red, blue, and this sort of caramel color. You could make it out of a plain creamy colored canvas duck. Or when I was at Hobby Lobby, they had a lot of prints. So you could do something like this. We're gonna do this today, and oh my gosh, it's gonna be so awesome. So let me just put these things out of my way. This is a, it's messy, just so you know. You're gonna have blue strings everywhere. You're gonna have strings off of the fabric everywhere. And you're gonna find them in other areas of your house too. It's really amazing how these things travel. Okay, so the thing about this project is that it's not hard. It's just you have to think it out in advance, okay? And I'm a very visual person, so I drew mine. And if you are taking notes or screenshotting, this is what you want. Okay, so this box right here is my table that I'm making this for. It is 6 feet long, which is 72 inches right here, and it's 37 wide. And I decided that I wanted my table runner to be around 14 inches wide this time. Okay, this is the table runner. That seems better in scale than when I did this one 2 years ago. It was a little, honestly, it was a little wide for my table, but it's still beautiful, and I'll show it to you. Okay, so when you're making a table runner, you want it to fall off both ends of the table and hang down just a little bit. And that is a personal preference thing, but I decided to have my table runner go to the edge of the table, and then I decided to give around 6 inches of the fall. Okay, so when I was cutting my long strip, which is right here, gosh, it's so cute, I can't wait to show you. I cut it long enough for the table, plus 6 extra on either side, for a total of 84 inches long, roughly. Now you need to do all this math for your own table, or just eyeball it, or just take a chance. It's totally up to you. But having this be my second time of making this style of table runner, I decided that I wanted to have it be in better scale to my table than this one. Okay, so let me show you what this one looks like. And when I'm all done, I will screenshot that. And I might color it a little bit so you can understand what it is. Okay, so this is the table runner that I made summer of 2020. Okay, and this is what hangs over the end of each side of my table. And it was honestly quite long, and like I said, very wide. So I decided to just go a little bit smaller, but look at this, isn't this pretty? I'm going to show you how to create this effect here. And the thing that is awesome about this is it has rosettes on this side. You could do ribbon, whatever you want. And this side is plain. And it still looks just fine. Of course, my table runner has been in a box underneath a whole bunch of other stuffies and different things that I've made in the last few years. So my fabric is all super wrinkled. But this is generally the idea and generally where we are headed. Okay, so I saw this fabric at Hobby Lobby. It's canvas duck. Look at all those strings. And I just fell in love with it. I'm kind of thinking to do cream and black, or natural and black, as my Christmas colors, my theme for my tree and my theme for all my decorating this year. And this would work perfect with it. All right, so I bought 3 yards. And what I did to get started, because this has a pattern, it's easy to work with. Straight lines are awesome. Okay, so I just measured, here's my measuring tape, like 14-ish inches. And I would cut just a little snip right here. I'm not going to though, because I don't want to tear this piece of fabric up. I'll show you how you do that. But so this is my leftover piece. You do need a good long bit to do a long table runner. So I would say 2.5 to 3 yards at least. Okay, here's my little piece that's still left over. And I'm going to show you how to tear canvas duck. It's the same as how you tear painter's drop cloth or any other fabric. I'm looking for the side that I started. Okay, so what you're going to do, and you could go either direction with this fabric, is you're just going to take a snip and then you just pull. And it's going to look like this. It's going to be really, it's going to have tons of strings that you're going to need to pull out. And it's going to kind of want to roll on itself. So I ironed it flat. Okay, so let me show you the difference between this and what it looks like once you get it ironed. I have my handy dandy little iron out over here with a spray bottle with some water. So after I tore my table runner, then I ironed it. And I have done a lot of the work, the prep in advance, so you don't have to watch all the boring stuff. But this is, you know, it is a craft that you have to think about what you're doing. See how much better it looks? And what I love is the fringe. That's like my favorite part. Okay, so you wouldn't cut it this skinny, you would cut it, you know, however wide you want it to be. I decided around 14 inches wide. And then you would cut it however long and tear it, however long you wanted it to be. And I decided that I wanted mine to be the length of my table plus around 6 inches extra on either side. So roughly 84 inches is what I ended up doing. And actually, I think I had an inch or 2 overhang on either side. So it might have been more like 86 or 88. You can just fiddle around with that to see what you can come up with. Okay, so let's put this aside for a moment. And we're gonna do rolled rosettes. Oh my gosh, this is such a fun project. Okay, so as far as the little ruffle, this part, the dangle down part that's cinched up, I decided to go the opposite direction of my runner. So, can you see that? Stay with me because this is going to be so cute. And you can probably already notice that the scale is smaller than the painter's drop cloth. That is just personal preference. This table runner is probably going to end up costing me, you know, I'm not using every single bit of fabric, probably around $12, $10 or $12, plus a little bit of math, which for me is hard. I'm not a math girl. Okay, so I decided, let's get to the side that, and it's ironed and all ready to go. Okay, so I decided that I wanted my ruffle to be roughly 3 times as wide as this, which is around 14. So 14 times 3 is what? 72. No, I don't know what it is, but 14 times 3. So 3 times as wide as your table runner is how I decided to do it. And this is my piece. It's running the opposite direction. And I took a minute to fold and iron down this little part, because this is where we're going to do our gathering stitch and how we're going to attach it to the table runner. And what I'm really afraid of, you guys, is that I will put it on the wrong side. So I gotta make sure I'm working on the right side. This is gonna need to be folded and ironed just a little bit too. Let's do that right now. It just makes it easier to work with. And it's probably, I don't know, an inch or a little bit over an inch. Okay, see? Easy peasy. Okay, we're not gathering this because this is our tape. This is the centerpiece of the table runner. We are going to gather this. Okay, and I'm going to do it just right underneath the fold. And I am just using a big old needle and some white thread. And I did want to, every time I get this out, I just get a big smile on my face. So I wanted to ask you guys, did you happen to see the day that we made these needle books? If you didn't, it's in my videos and I think I will reshare it today. Anyways, it's just a great place to keep all your needles handy. I also made one for my crochet hooks because I could never find one when I wanted it. So, of course, I used some lace and some vintage mother of pearl buttons on it. So I'll see if I can find that video. Okay, so I just have a long piece and all I'm going to do is just get started at one end and I'm going to do a knot or stitch in and out of it twice. Okay, and then we're just going to do a gathering stitch. It's also known as a running stitch, a cinching stitch. You're just going up and down and up and down and up and down. Let me do a little bit and then I'll show you. Okay, so can you see what I'm doing? I'm just going up and down and up and down and up and down. And then what this will do when I'm done is it will cinch it up. Okay, so let me get this all finished. Talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes if you would like. I think this project would be beautiful done, you know, for whatever size you want. And I have seen people make these much smaller for those sofa tables that go behind your sofa. You could also do it as just a center rectangle for your table, or you could even do round. But I don't know. This was something an idea I had 2 years ago, and after that I did make a few other table runners with things like stuffed carrots and I don't even remember what else on it. Okay, I'm trying to do this quickly because it's boring. Okay, let me tell you about the painter's drop cloth. Let me tell you about the painter's drop cloth. Okay, I don't think I have the packaging anymore, but here's what I used. So, get a piece of paper and a pencil. I got mine at Home Depot, but you can pick up painter's drop cloth at any hardware store, Walmart, any place that sells paint is going to have painter's drop cloth. Okay, it's not very expensive, but what I got was a brand called Everbuilt, and that's Everbilt. It has a blue label on it. The size does not matter. Get whatever size you need. Let's see, it was medium duty, and when you take it out of the package the first time, it's gonna be like, it's so, I don't know what they did to it, but it's so starched that it's almost crunchy. And it needs to be like this. It needs to be soft and pliable. That's what's so beautiful about painter's drop cloth. Also, let me tell you this, and then I'll continue here. It comes usually in either kind of an oatmeal color or a grayish color. This is the oatmeal. So if you wanted gray, just look around. You don't have to have Everbilt brand, but get a medium duty painter's drop cloth, and then you're going to want to wash it on hot, maybe with some towels, some bath towels, and then put it in the dryer, and it's going to start to soften up. And then you're going to want to put it back in the washing machine, seriously, on hot, with some towels again, and wash it again and dry it again. And going through a hot cycle, a hot dryer, 2 times like that, your painter's drop cloth should be soft. Yeah, okay. Also, this fabric that I'm working on is called duck. It's canvas duck. It's just like a very tightly woven kind of thick canvas. I am not sure why they call it duck. But do not wash it. You don't want to wash it. You want to work with this while it's nice and not all crumpled. And especially if you tear it before you wash it, you're going to have about all of the strings come out in the wash and dryer. The strings that the fringe. Same with the painter's drop cloth. I forgot to say that. You want to wash it, dry it, wash it, dry it twice before you cut anything. Hopefully those instructions make sense. But I promise you, if you get the painter's drop cloth and you just take it out of the package, you're gonna say, oh my gosh, this is horrible. Because it's crunchy, it's hard, it looks like it would be super uncomfortable. It's just really not good. That's my fancy appraisal. So do not wash the canvas duck. And you can usually get canvas duck for, sometimes I get it at Walmart for about $6 a yard. When I bought this, it was $10 a yard at Hobby Lobby, and they did not have fabric stuff on sale, but I needed it. So often Hobby Lobby will have 40% off of fabric, and then it ends up being around, if you take 40% off of $10 a yard, it ends up being about the same as the Walmart one, which is $6 a yard. Any fabric store is going to have what you need. Okay, so I've just done my gathering stitch. See what that does? It creates a ruffle. Okay, and for everyone who owns a sewing machine, I do, it's right there, knows how to sew, you can do all of this on your sewing machine. But the thing is, there's so many people that don't have a sewing machine or don't know exactly how to use it, that I just decided to do this project with hot glue. So it would be something everyone could do. If you can operate a low temperature hot glue gun, then you can do this project. Okay, I've just folded it in half because I want to know roughly where is the middle. And I'm going to just put a pin in here. Okay. Now comes the really fun part, and let me just put on my thinking cap a little bit because I want to make sure I'm doing this right. I would be very upset with myself if I completely messed it up. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is, cinch it up pretty good. You may have to pull it out a little bit and try to make the amount of ruffle be roughly the same on each side. This is how a person who is not a great sewer explains sewing stuff. Okay, and what I did on the other side is I just took this little bit that I folded up, and I'm going to pin the end of one side on here, and I'll show you up close. I want it to be pinned up there far enough that you don't see my gathering stitch. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I haven't finished cinching this up or taken my needle out yet. I'm just leaving it there for the moment. This is all just kind of how, I'm the kind of crafter that if I want to make something, I just kind of figure it out. So this is the best I can figure out how to do this. If you have a better way, tell us. Okay, and I'm going to pin the other side. And then I'm going to pull my thread and I'm going to start fiddling around with my ruffles a little bit. And I'm going to pin the center in the center of this 14-inch wide table runner. Hey, do you guys remember when we made these cute little pin holders using an embroidery hoop and some cork? And that was some fabric that I stenciled. Okay, so I'm going to pin the center on here. This is the part that's boring, and I'm sorry about that. It's what's really fun is when you get to the decorating part. So I'm going to try to cruise on through all of this. Okay, and then I'm going to do one more set of pins about the midpoint of each side, just to hold my ruffles where they are. And this is going to be hanging off the end of a table. So if you have one area where your ruffles are a little tighter, it's okay. All right. So now I have it pinned on, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait till I have it glued on to finish my needle. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to peek underneath and check to make sure that this will look good when you use it on the other side. So I want this first black stripe to sort of disappear. And this one needs to go up a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to just do some blobs of glue and fiddle with my ruffles. And I'm going from this side. I hope this makes sense and you guys aren't completely confused. Okay, and I am using my low temperature hot glue gun. Let me unplug my iron. I don't think we're gonna need it anymore. While I was at Hobby Lobby, I actually splurged and bought myself a new Surebonder cool shot because this one is such a mess and they're only like $10. So it's not a super huge splurge, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I so need a new glue gun. Okay, and I'm just putting a little bit of glue. The front part really doesn't even matter because it's going to have a whole bunch of stuff happening on it, but you want you want it to be reversible. And you want this other side to look nice. Okay, so I think I have enough little blobs of glue in there for the moment. I'm going to do a knot and tie off my gathering stitch. Just gonna go through it a couple times. Who learned to sew as a child? I learned to sew with my mom and with both of my grandmothers, and I'm going to cut this off, when I was pretty little. And my favorite thing to sew when I was little, and take the pins out, were Barbie bell bottoms. My grandma helped me figure out a pattern for those. And you could just use little scraps of fabric, and she just let me have at all her little bits of scraps of fabric. I made like a million pairs of Barbie bell bottoms that summer. Okay, so it's sort of on. I'm just gonna tack it down a little better in a few places, and then I'll come back and make this neat after, so you're not having to watch this part. It's boring. We're going to go to the other side anyways. Got a pin here. What is my pin there for? Maybe not. Guess not. Okay, so here's the front that has this little ruffle, and here's the other front that just is cleaner. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments what you think about it so far, and tell me also if you did learn how to sew as a child. What did you learn? What was like the first thing you learned how to sew? My stuff, I was a girly girl. So all my projects involved baby dolls or Barbie dolls or things like that. You're gonna just have strings falling off the whole time that you're doing this. Okay, so we're gonna make some rolled rosettes that will be on this fancier side, and then we're gonna attach them. And I have a couple of options that I want to ask you about. Okay, so hopefully I won't forget. All right, before I came live, I made a few. This one is made with a strip of this fabric. We'll use this piece. These ones are made with a strip of just the plain canvas duck. And if you've never done rolled rosettes before, they are super fun. They are addicting. Seriously. You can do them out of absolutely any kind of fabric. And it's a good way to use up your scraps. Okay, so I'm gonna start, this is gonna be the back, which is this piece right here. And this is going to be messy because rolled rosettes are a messy flower. Okay, and any rolled rosette, what you're going to do, there's no specific wide width that you have to do or length. It's just what you have, and you can cut it off at any point if you think your flower's getting too big. I'm going to tie a knot at the very end. And this is going to become the center of our rosette. Okay, I'm going to chop off this end right here. So I'm just going to put a big blob. This is where you totally need a low temperature hot glue gun. Don't attempt this with a high temperature hot glue gun. I mean, I've already gotten it on my fingernails. Okay, so it's attached. And what I do, you know, you can roll to whichever side feels most comfortable to you. I usually roll clockwise. You're gonna roll and twirl your fabric, and you're gonna put a little line of glue that you will roll and twirl your fabric into and push it up close to that center. And you want it to look messy, so in some parts you're going to want the fringe from either side to show, like right there. So I'm just rolling and twirling and pushing it into the glue. Put down your glue, roll and twirl. It's so easy, Joyce, I promise. Joyce is saying, Joyce Matzo says, I make it look so easy. It really is easy, especially because this is a super messy flower, which relieves you of any obligation to do it neat or symmetrical. I mean, look at my flowers. These are not symmetrical. They're not even round. They're just messy because they're rolled rosettes, and that's how they're supposed to be. And you can keep going however big or small you want. And as far as our project goes, I'm just going to put a few flowers on each side to start out with, and then I'm going to look at it and see if I think it needs more. But on the other one, I'll show you in just a second, on the one that I made 2 years ago, we put a whole bunch of really messy rolled rosettes on either side of the ruffly side. When you're done, you can kind of just push it into the glue, or if you want, you can take it around to the back and glue it on the back. Okay, here's my rolled rosette. I'm going to look around the edges and see, is there anywhere that it's like fallen off? No. Okay, I'm going to cut all of this off around it. And it does not have to be perfect. Just don't cut yourself. Ooh, that was a pretty good one. Look, it's almost, it's kind of a little ovalish, but it's almost a circle. And then I was doing my leaves with the, with some of the black and cream striped fabric. So let's just make a leaf out of this right here. And I'm going to make it mostly where, I'm just thinking, where the black part is, so that will be seen. These kind of leaves are super messy. So that's sort of a leaf, right? And I want one that's bigger though. I generally like to do 2 leaves on the back of my flowers. Okay, so I have 2 leaves, and I'm just going to look at it and see. I don't know, it really doesn't matter where you glue it on. And with this fabric, there's not really a front or a back. So I glued 1 leaf on, and I'm going to glue the other smaller one just right next to it, kind of behind it. Okay, and there is a rolled rosette. Let's make one with this piece of fabric right here and see how that looks. All right, I have a little square that we're going to glue on. With all these strings. Let's start the way we always start, is with a knot at the end. And I'm going to cut out this tail, and I'm going to tack it down in the center. Thank you to everyone who's done stars. Oh my goodness, I so appreciate that. That is one of the ways that I'm able to keep crafting and getting more craft supplies to continue doing different crafts with. So I really appreciate that. Okay, and so I'm gonna twirl and twist and push it into the glue. This is a little softer. And this piece that I have right here has a little more black on it than this one. It didn't have a lot of black on it. I don't know. We'll see what we think. I have these long strings everywhere through the bottom half of my house already, because I've been back and forth to my table to get my dimensions and you know, to cut things and make sure it's going to work the scale. And oh, this is a mess, but it's going to be so worth it. If you have made, and I know a lot of you guys have because you saw that video, I think it was May of 2020 that we made this one. If you guys have made one of these table runners using painter's drop cloth or duck or anything else, and you have those pictures handy, drop them here in the comments so everyone can see. Okay, so on this, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flowers with a bunch of leaves. This new one is going to be quite a bit narrower, so I don't know, we'll see what we want to do. And I'm just twirling the fabric and twisting it around. I think I like this black and white one much better than the other one, so I will have to cut another strip, tear another strip of this canvas duck. It's the black and white. Okay, there we go. I'm going to look and see. Do I have any places where it's not glued down? No, I do not. If you guys are just hopping on now, at the beginning of this video, we did some math. And it's kind of important math. It really is. And I cannot explain it in a response to a question typing. So if you missed the beginning, when it's not live anymore, if there's not a little red button up here that says live, somewhere right there, and you're watching on replay, then you can just rewind. Or if you're watching live, when this is not live anymore, when I'm done, you can go back and watch it on replay and listen to me explain the math, because that is important. So my craft projects usually don't involve any math at all, but this one does. Okay, here is that rosette. Isn't it pretty? And I need some more fabric. Can we use this little bit? I don't think so. Let me see which one of these I want to go off of. I think it's this one. Okay, I'm just going to cut another strip right here and tear. And this is how I started this table runner, was just by doing a snip and then tearing. You could also do this identical idea, but much smaller, and you could make placemats. Okay, ordinarily I would take the time to iron it, because look how messy it looks. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to make you have to wait. I do want to make 2 leaves though, so I'm just gonna pull it out by hand. All right, here's one. And there's going to be another. By the way, if you guys like to do any of the other style of flowers that we do here, you could put those kind of flowers on this project. It does not have to be these rolled rosettes. It could be whatever. Look at my desk. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's add these leaves. Pretty cute, huh? Okay, so let's look at that table runner that we have going here. It is around, well, it's going to be shorter now because I did that fold, but it was around 84 when I cut it, 84 inches, because of the size of my table. So don't do yours the same if you have a different size table. Do that. Do a drawing like this and figure out the math so that it's the right size for your table. Okay, so this is the side that is fully glued, I believe. No, it must be the other side. Yeah, it's this side. The other side I need to come back and do a little more work on. All right, so we want to play around with what we want here, and I have a variety of flowers. This, I think, is going to be the centerpiece. And then I would probably just flank it with 2 of these plainer ones. They could be layered, or they could be separated, but here's where I need your help. Okay, so this little line where we did the running stitch, we could leave it like that. It looks perfectly fine. Or we could do something to it. And one of the things I was thinking was to use some of this black grosgrain ribbon. I'll just cut a piece so that you can actually see it. And put that on there. And then do your flowers however you want to do them. What do you think about that idea? And I know it's kind of hard to see, but do you like this black ribbon on here, or do you think that's going to stand out too much? So tell me what you guys think in the comments. The other option is to use a little bit of lace. This is kind of a creamy ivory piece of lace from Dollar Tree. And I could cover this right there with this and then layer the flowers over the top. What do you guys think? Okay, Lynn says she likes the ribbon. Somebody said yes, but I don't know. Okay, Claudia says she likes the ribbon. Donna says yes, the black ribbon. Do you think the black ribbon is better than the lace? That's what I want to know. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, I'm gonna look and see what you guys say for just a few seconds more. The majority of people are saying yes, use the black grosgrain ribbon. So let's do that. All right. And I'm gonna just have to cut it off when we get to the end and do like a little fold, because I don't want the other side to look funny. Okay, so I guess I'll just start right here. So I know this project is a lot of steps, but if I had started from scratch to put this together, it would be like a 4-hour project. So I hope that being able to see one side of it finished and not have to wait, I hope that that made this whole experience more enjoyable and easier to get through. Okay, let's fold this over on itself to create like a little, kind of like a hem. Needs to go further. Perfect. I'm going to finish this side up here, and then I'm going to show it to you so you can compare one side or the other, because really my goal for these videos is to give you an idea and show you how to do it. And then you take the parts that you like, that go with your aesthetics, with your style, and recreate those for yourself, or just use the idea and do it your own way. So I want you to see with ribbon and without ribbon, so you know what you like. Okay. My word, I have so many glue strings. is with the black ribbon. And here is the other side that's not 100% done, but without the black ribbon. So I'll do this side the same, so it matches with the other. And this one, it's laying on a table. I don't think you'll be, if you choose to use this side, because this is reversible, I don't think you'll be able to see the black ribbon. Oh my word. Thank you guys so much for all those stars. That is so nice of you. Okay, so let's remember. This is the one that I'm liking the most. It's the one that I created with the strip. It was a little bit skinnier than this, but had more black. So I think that needs to go in the center. And then I'm trying to decide what to do with these other two. What do you guys think? Sometimes I just like to make them be kind of all together. And I might do that. There's no right or wrong, which is good. I am sorry about that. That was my son Christian calling. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it. So let's start with the center one. And I know that this is the center of my table runner. Gluing that on, we'll come back and we'll tuck the leaves in better in a minute. I think I'm going to have to cover up this one leaf because otherwise my rosette here isn't going to work. So we'll just glue that down. And I can come back and add another leaf if I really feel like I need to. This is going to be so pretty. Oh my gosh. When I was at Hobby Lobby, they have their Christmas. They're starting to put Christmas ornaments and things out. And they have that 50% off if you're going, if you're watching this live, then that is what is happening at Hobby Lobby. And I bought some beautiful cream colored ornaments. And I really think I'm going to do the natural wood pieces. So we'll do the Jenga block, Mary, Jesus, and Joseph. We'll do the clothespin snowflakes. We'll do other wood rounds and things. So a lot of wood kind of natural ornaments. And then I'll do a few little pieces that are black. And then the rest of my tree, I think I'm going to do this creamy ivory. And I think it's going to be beautiful. I'm excited. And this is going to go with it just great. So what do you guys think? Isn't it pretty? Can you just, and you could do this with absolutely whatever fabric, whatever drop cloth you want, or painter's drop cloth. Oh, Lori says, how pretty. Okay, so this fabric here, this duck cloth, came from the fabric department at Hobby Lobby. If you want to go and try to look and see if you can find it. And before I put this on my table, I will get all the glue strings off, and of course I will iron it. But they had a lot of other fabric, and let me just show you some of that real quick. This is ticking fabric, and it's one of my favorite things. I craft with this all the time. This is my go-to color because this is kind of my house, these colors. This is kind of like a caramel. They also have ticking in red and cream and navy and cream, and I have seen it in orange and cream, and occasionally I've seen it in black and cream. Okay, this is just the plain oatmeal colored canvas duck. This is really pretty. It's kind of reminds me of like a, I don't know, a spotted leopard or something, but it's a gray green with white little pieces. That would be fun. And then of course, you could use painter's drop cloth. So if you missed any of the instructions, this was the one I did 2 years ago. I think it was May of 2020. If you missed any of the instructions or you have questions, you can watch this video on replay, because at the start of the video is where I talk about the math. And you want to have your table runner be in scale with your table. I think that's important. You don't want it to be too big or too small. And this one that I did 2 years ago, honestly, I think was too wide, and it was also too long. But I think it's fixed this year with this one. Of course, I could go on to add all kinds of other embellishments. I could do some little mother of pearl buttons, but it's pretty darn cute just the way it is. And I love the fringe. Oh, let me tell you a couple things. Okay, this is a piece of art that you can never wash in your washing machine. If you get something on it, you'll have to try to just spot clean it. Because if you put this in the washing machine, all these edges that are frayed, it's gonna just all come apart and be a big tangly mess. So you could use, you know, something to spot clean it. That would work, but it's not washable. And what was the other thing I wanted to tell you? Oh, if you haven't already liked and followed this page, DiyDreaming, but you like these kind of craft projects and you would like to see more, I'd love to have you come back, of course. Take a second to look and see if you've liked and followed it, and you can turn on your notifications. If you liked this and you have other friends that you think would like to make this kind of project, feel free to sprinkle. That really helps me with my business like you can't even imagine. So if you'd consider sprinkling this video, I'd really appreciate it. Oh, Jackie says she loves everything about it. When I have it all finished, I will get, hey, I think that was my friend Cheryl. I will get pictures, but it's probably going to be tomorrow. So, because I have a lot to do to finish it up. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it and saw that this seriously is something that you can do. And you don't have to have a sewing machine. Just a glue gun and scissors to be able to cut and tear. Alrighty, have a blessed rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you tomorrow.